You know? Well, convicted killer Erin Patterson will appear in Melbourne's Supreme Court today, where she will come face to face with the grieving families and friends of her victims. Patterson was last month found guilty of murdering 3 relatives and attempting to kill a 4th by feeding them beef Wellington deliberately laced with death cap mushrooms. Today, the loved ones of those tragically killed will have the opportunity to confront the murderer by sharing victim impact statements during a pre-sentencing hearing. Ruth Parker, criminal defence lawyer, joins us now live in Melbourne. Great to have you with us. So who are we going to expect to hear from today?
Well, we'll be hearing from both the prosecution and the defence lawyers, and a lot of the argument is really going to focus, I think, on whether or not she receives a non-parole period. Obviously, the offence of murder carries a significant period of imprisonment, but the Supreme Court has the ability to impose a non-parole period, after which she can apply for parole, and so I think that is going to be a major focus of the argument over the next 2 days.
So weighing up sentencing, how big an impact do these statements have?
Look, they will have an impact, particularly when it comes to any submissions in relation to the seriousness of the offending. Obviously, murder is a very serious offence. It is the most serious offence. But where you have a number of murders, and they are murders of people who were vulnerable because, firstly, they were older, but secondly, they trusted her. They went to her house to eat, and the impact on the community and the loved ones was significant. So it really is a factor in considering how serious an example of murder this is. And really, Sheva, we actually haven't seen offending like this before. So it's going to be a unique sentencing challenge.
Well, that's really interesting. Just give us your take on that. I mean, the uniqueness of this case. We haven't seen anything like this before, as you said. How will that impact sentencing, do you think?
Well, I think it's going to really challenge the court to consider, well, in our jurisdiction, we look at similar crimes and what sentences were imposed. But in this situation, we are talking about extremely premeditated, calculated offending. We're talking about poisoning, which is one of the most painful ways to die. And we're talking about a situation where it's not like when we've seen other kind of mass murders, where you're talking about a very drug affected or very, very unwell person. So it's going to present a very unique sentencing challenge to the judge to consider, well, when 3 people die, does the person who committed those murders get a non-parole period, or do they spend the rest of their natural life in prison?
So when are we going to find out? When is the sentence going to be handed down?
Well, I would expect it will take at least 2 to 4 weeks for the judge to really consider what the sentence is and also to write the reasons for sentence. Because when you are sentencing someone like this in a serious jurisdiction, you've got to pre-prepare your reasons, you've got to be quite sound on the law, and you've got to make sure that whatever sentence you impose stands up to scrutiny. And that is what the judge is going to be preparing over the next few weeks.
Thanks so much for framing it for us. Really appreciate that. Thanks, Ruth. Here's Nat.